Hello, Finxters. Peter here with another video. Today we'll discuss how to generate a random hex string in Python. Before we do that, I'll just do a brief overview of what hexadecimal numbers are. So they are a base 16 numbering system consisting of the numbers 0 to 9. And then once we hit the number 10 in decimal, in hex that would be represented with A. 11 is B, all the way down to 15, which is F. So hex numbers are very common in computing. You probably recognize them when they use colors in HTML and CSS. I have here the Finxter app website. Then if we inspected the this OK button, we could see what the color is, and then we'll see that it is a hex number. Let's see, so this answer button is, the background is 48EAA9, and then the OK color is a kind of black color, which is 272727. So yeah, those are hex numbers. Other examples would be if you're on Windows and you typed ipconfig, you could show your networking interface configuration. If you're on Mac or Linux, it would be ifconfig. But I just did a search here just to see someone's screenshot so we can kind of see what we have here. So this, I believe this is a MAC address, this physical address, FCAA14B7F677. And then this is IPv6. So you see this whole block of numbers, those are all hexadecimal numbers. And the reason why this is used is these are actually representing binary numbers. So one thing to note is, I'll just do an illustration here. So 1 byte is 8 bits, right? And then so with these with this hexadecimal naming convention, the first 4 bits will represent a hex number, and then the next bit will represent a hex number. So, for example, if we had, let's say 1, 0, let's say we had this binary number for this byte. So let's find out what the first 4 bits are. So 1010, we'll refer to the chart, is A. And then the next 4 bits, 1101, is D. Okay, so this byte here is equivalent to the hex number AD, and then that's pretty much what this is saying here. This FC is the first 4 bits is. So F is 1111, and then C would be 1100. So yeah, instead of having all binary numbers, they just use hex numbers to kind of make it a little bit more human readable. So yeah, with that said, we'll just go ahead and jump into the code on how to generate hexadecimal numbers, random hexadecimal numbers. The first one that we'll go over is from the secrets module. And the good thing is it already comes with Python. Okay, so from the documentation, it's just pretty much the secrets module allows us to generate cryptographically strong random numbers. So if security or cryptography is a concern for you, then I would recommend using the secrets module. And then we'll focus on this token hex function for our first example. It's super easy. Pretty much all you do is you call this function, and then what you need to specify is the number of bytes. So let's just do an example. So if you did 1 byte, right, you would get 58. So remember, in our illustration, 1 byte is each. The first 4 bits will represent a hex number, and then the same thing. The second half, or the next 4 bits, will be another hex number. So that's why when you specify 1 byte, you get 2 digits. So that's the first method to generate a randomly generate a hex number. Actually, and it does come up as a string. So if you did so it is class string. So yeah, that's the first way. Use this function token hex. If you needed 32 bits, then you would put 16 in here. If you needed an odd number, let's say if you needed 31 characters, that's pretty easy too. You would just use slicing. So you could skip the first character and then just print out the rest, right? So then we ended up with, instead of 32, we get 31 on this one. Okay, and the next function from the secrets module that we could use to randomly generate a hex string is with the choice function. Okay, so for choice, we just need to select from a non-empty sequence. So in our case, we already know what a hex string is, what hexadecimal numbers are made up of. So 0 to 9, and then A to F. Okay, so let's say we wanted to randomly generate a 6-digit hex number, or a character with a string with 6 characters, a hex string with 6 characters. There you go. So we would say, sorry, it's choice, and then hex string. Let's see, 6. Then you have to join that with an empty string. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So 6 characters. Let's see what that is with color. Okay. Yeah. So if you wanted to randomly generate some HTML colors. It's just made up of the 6 characters. So yeah, you could also use this with the choice function is also in random. So if, like I said earlier, secrets is mainly for security or cryptography. But if that doesn't matter to you, we also have the random module, and that also has the choice function. And it's exactly the same, just you have to be able to choose from a non-empty sequence. So we can use this exact code, but we'll just specify that we'll use the one from random. So what this does, it will generate our hex string, but it won't be secure. But yeah, as you can see, we'll run it a couple times and then we'll come up with a hex string of 6 characters, and we can see that it does work. Cool. So that's pretty easy. Token hex from the secrets module, choice from the secrets module, and then choice also from the random module. Those are the first three ways to generate a random hex string. The next one that we'll go over is with F strings. And if you don't know what F strings are, I recommend that you check out the links on the article. It's got really good information regarding the different formatting options in Python. It goes into really good detail about how to what it's actually capable of in terms of formatting. But for our purposes, we'll just focus on the fact that that we can specify an integer, and then you can convert that into another numbering system, like binary, octal, and hexadecimal. I'll just quickly show that. So let's say if we have the number 15, B would indicate that we want it to be binary. O is for octal, and then for our purposes, X is hexadecimal. And then the trick is, how do we know, how do we randomly generate a number in there? Well, we could use from the random module, we could use something called randrange. So all you do is you could specify a starting and a stopping point, or you could just specify just one number, which would indicate the maximum range that you want the number to be within. So I've got this chart here that you could refer to, and then let's say if you wanted to just pick one random hex string with only one character in length, you could pretty much just refer to this power column. So this would specify how many characters in length that you want your hex string to be. Right. So again, we're hexadecimal, so this is base 16, and then if you take it to whatever power you take it to, this result column, that's what that number is. So 16 to the 1 is obviously 16. If you put this number into randrange, it will pick a random number between 0 to 15, right? So it'll exclude whatever the maximum number that you'll pick. So let's go ahead and do that. So random range, and then we want a number between 0 and 16, and 16 exclusive. Okay, so I'll run this a couple times. Oh, sorry, forgot to specify that it's a hexadecimal. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's do this a couple times. Okay, so we've got EAD50. So as you can see, it's randomly picking between 0 and 15. So we get F here. This is the maximum. So let's look at. I hope that makes sense. So again, we're picking base 16 because we're using hexadecimal, and then the power will indicate the length. So let's say if we wanted 6, if we wanted a random hex number between 0 and 6 digits in length, we would pick the power as 6. So as you can see, if we actually hit that maximum number, we would get 6 Fs, right? So let's put that in here. I'll run that a couple times. Let's put that. Okay, so that's what that 6-character hex number is. One thing to keep in mind is that since this is a range between 0 and the maximum number, there could be an instance where the actual result is less than what you picked, which is the case here, as you can see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters long. So how do we get around that? With the f strings, you can specify the width. So in this case, we're saying that this is 6 characters long. And then you would put a 0 here to indicate that you want a leading 0. So if I ran this and it came, if I didn't have the 0, it would just have a blank space, and then it would have the like 5 characters in there. But if we put a 0 in here, then it'll just fill that blank space with a 0. And then that'll be a perfectly valid hex string. So let's see if we can produce one with a leading 0. Okay, so we get this one. Let's put that in our HTML color. So yeah, that's kind of a greenish color there, as you can see. But yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. Again, I'll say that again. There is a chance that if you don't have this, if you don't specify the width or put a 0 for leading zeros, there is a chance that you would get something that's less than your length. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if it'll do that again. Okay, so this you have one here. You have that 0. Yeah, so that's something that you do need to keep in mind, that may happen. But yeah, that is a really good way of generating a random hex number utilizing the f strings. We're using the rand range function from random, and then you can just specify whatever length you want. That would be the power. So if you wanted it to be 32, and then remember to have your leading 0, and then your width. Okay, and then there you have it. So this one, see, it filled the 0 in the front because it would have been 31 characters. So yeah, again, that could happen. So that's why we do that. That's why we have that leading 0 in there, and we specify the width. So that's f strings. This is kind of a newer implementation that we use in Python to format. There is also the string format. Let me just type that in here, str format. That's another way to kind of do f strings. So inside the string, we would have our curly braces in here. We would have the x goes in there. This is your index. And the reason why this is index is because you could have a lot of things in here. So let's say if we had 15, 16, 17. Let's say you had a range of numbers in here that you wanted that you could potentially format. The index would indicate, or you would specify in here which number you wanted to convert into a hexadecimal. Right, so the 0 index is 15. We do the 1 index and the 2 index, right? But if you just have one item in here, so which for us would be the and range let's just do one character length, and then the index would be 0. So we only have one item in here, so but we would have to specify that it's the 0 index. And then it's randomly picking. Same thing with the width and the leading zeros. So let's see if we will get. These are all 6. Leading 0. Okay. Looks like everything so far is 6 characters in it. Okay, there we go. We had a 0, a leading 0. So yeah, same thing applies here. So yeah, this is another way to implement the Python formatting. If you're not accustomed to the F strings, this is perfectly usable as well, string.format. And then the last one is the old percent. I believe this was carried over from the C programming language. Correct me if I'm wrong, or leave a comment or let me know in the chat room. But anyways, it's kind of an old. It's referred to as the old percent format style. So we do a 32 length. Let's do 6. Okay, so the format here is you have your string, which will be surrounded by quotes, and then the percent. So instead of the curly braces, it has a percent in there, and then the X indicates hexadecimal, and then you could also do the width, and then a 0 for the leading zeros. So let's run this. Okay, so here we came up with the leading 0. But yeah, that's another way to generate a random hex string in Python. So we have the F strings, the string.format, and then the percent, the old percent format. So yeah, hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, if you have any questions, either leave them in the comment. If you're a member of the Finxter community, reach out to us in the Discord chat. If you're not a member, I highly recommend looking into joining as a member. We have a really good community if you want to pursue Python programming. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. I'll catch you next time. Bye.